Hey everybody, how are you? This is Wayne S. Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. It is the 25th of May, 2017. Lots going on. I mean, a ton of stuff is going on. And a lot of it is basically hidden from you. Basically hidden from everybody, to be honest with you, because we're all distracted by certain things. We're all, just completely, the wool basically is being they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes, is what the mainstream media is trying to do. They're trying to do this. They know that we're going to try to, push that away. We're going to try to, stop all that. And the mainstream propaganda media has a problem. And the problem is they think we're stupid. They think we're dumber than dirt. And we're not. Steve Watson, Infowars.com, 25th of May, 2017. Harvard study. 2/3 of Americans believe mainstream media is fake news. Quote, much of the media is now just another part of the partisan divide in the country, unquote. So we have figured it out. Okay? We have figured it out. A Harvard study has confirmed that a majority of Americans across the political spectrum believe that the mainstream media publishes fake news. The survey found that a whopping 65% of voters do not trust the media and concur with President Trump that the likes of CNN and the Washington Post push false information. The poll indicated that 80% of Republicans, 60% of independents, and 53% of Democrats all share the opinion. The results were provided exclusively to The Hill. The authors of the study also noted that it seems to be the media's obsession with attacking Trump over anything and everything. Even though most topics are non-issues, that is driving the backlash. Quote, much of the media is now just another part of the partisan divide in the country, with Republicans not trusting the mainstream media and the Democrats seeing them as reflecting their beliefs, unquote, said Harvard-Harris co-director Mark Penn. Quote, every major institution from the presidency to the courts is now seen as operating in a partisan fashion in one direction or the other, unquote. The latest polls on the heels of another Harvard study that discovered the media is overwhelmingly biased against Trump in its coverage. I am going to share that on American Liberty Radio Podcast on, first I'm going to put it on my page because people need to know this. And then I'm going to share it from my page to American Liberty Radio Podcast. The whole issue, and I'm going to say this because it is part and parcel of this whole narrative that we, operate in, that we are, within this framework of, what it is. It's, and I'm going to say literally it's partisan. I'm going to say it is partisan. It is nothing more than, it's everything that we see in the mainstream media, everything that we see in the mainstream propaganda media, everything that we see from Fox, MSNBC, CBS, NBC, ABC, Everything that we see, CNN included, everything is really based upon the false information given to them, given to these outlets by the federal government, written in a script that they read off a teleprompter. And how this is being designed and created is through the process of neuro-linguistic programming and psychological operations. That's it, right there. Okay? Now, if in fact we do find the truth, find the facts, those are the things that we need to talk about. And even if your beloved networks are found out to be shilling for the federal government, we need to know that too. And pretty much they are. So we know this. Virginia Hale over at Breitbart.com, 25th of May, 2017. Obama praises globalism in Berlin. Quote, "We can't hide behind a wall," unquote. Speaking in Berlin on Thursday, Barack Obama pushed for continued globalism and heaped praise on German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Quote, "There's a competitive narrative of fear and xenophobia and nationalism and intolerance and anti-democratic trends," unquote, said Obama, discussing democracy and global responsibility with the Chancellor. At the biennial, is that what it is? Biennial Congress of the German Protestant Church. That's where he was. He says, quote, "We have to push back against those trends that would violate human rights or suppress democracy and that would restrict individual freedoms of conscience and religion. In this new world we live in, we can't isolate ourselves. We can't hide behind a wall," unquote, Obama declared from the Brandenburg Gate as police helicopters patrolled the skies and snipers watched the scene from nearby rooftops. The former U.S. president told Merkel, who is often credited with having caused a migrant crisis, which unleashed a flood of millions of migrants to Europe, that she is, quote, "on the right side of history," unquote. Addressing the question of asylum seekers, Obama said, quote, "In the eyes of God, a child on the other side of the border is no less worthy of love and compassion than my own child. You can't distinguish between them in terms of their worth or inherent dignity," unquote. Without mentioning Donald Trump by name, the former president took the opportunity to rail against his successor not only with regards to immigration and the, quote, "liberal international order," unquote, but also health care. Quote, "My hope was that I was able to get 100% of the people health care while I was president. We didn't quite achieve that, but we are able to get 20 million people health care who didn't have health care," he said, warning that, quote unquote, progress towards universal health care in the U.S. is in peril. Merkel, who the former president told had done, quote unquote, outstanding work, and who he lauded during his term as, quote, "my closest international partner," unquote, is set to fly to Brussels later on Thursday for a meeting with leaders of fellow NATO countries including President Trump. That is interesting. I'm going to put that on the American Liberty Radio Podcast Facebook page. That is interesting due to the fact that he's meeting with world leaders and he's not president. Okay? He's meeting with world leaders and he's not president. Does he have some kind of influence in how everything is done? And besides, there's 3 meetings leading up to another meeting. There's this upcoming meeting that former President Barack Obama is going to. There's another one that is coming up as well. And right after that, I think there's 3, so there could be only 2. I'm not sure. But then there's the Bilderberg meeting in Dresden, Germany next month. So tell me he doesn't still have influence in the world. Tell me he's not a minion of somebody. Okay? Go ahead. Tell me that. Somebody's pulling his strings. Somebody is making him more prominent now than he was when he was president. Because now he has more leeway. Now he has more his presence in the world is much more specific in a grander scale, because now he can go into these little places and, well, let's just use this, upset the apple cart. China warns unpermitted U.S. patrol to leave disputed waters in South China Sea. The Chinese Navy has warned a U.S. warship to leave as it sailed within 12 nautical miles of the Spratly Islands in the South China Sea, quote-unquote, without permission. Beijing said the latest U.S. move disrupts the peace process in the region after the USS Dewey guided missile destroyer entered waters near the disputed land, quote, without permission from the Chinese government, unquote. The country's Navy, quote, warned it to leave, unquote. Chinese Foreign Minister spokesman Liu Kang said at a news conference on Thursday, as cited by AFP. Yeah, let's put that on American Liberty Radio. Oh, podcast page. I find it, and here's something from my perspective. Here is something from my perspective. And it's real simple. If a leader of the world, or if a leader in the world decided to, say, send warships into a contested area, he could. That's just that. We'll just leave that at that. That leader could do that. Okay? If a world leader, a leader of a country in the world decided that he wanted to send warships into a contested area, he could. Everybody knows this. But here's the problem. The global chess game requires cooperation from some of the other players. Here's what I'm talking about. Imagine yourself sitting down across from your friend and you're playing chess. And imagine 2 or 3 other people behind them, and you have 2 or 3 people behind you, right? And they're whispering in his ear, and they pull him away from the table every once in a while, and they show him, a few strategies and stuff like that. You guys both know how to play chess, but they're advising him on certain moves, okay? And he comes back and you guys move and you guys play the game in that fashion, right? This is what's happening in the world. the United States of America has I'm going to say a tenuous type of, good, probably 2-star relationship with China. But when you look at that from that point of view, you might wonder, well, then why the hell do we have all these Chinese manufactured stuff in America? Well, that's because that's how we're paying them off. Because they loaned us money to pay for things. Now, why are we, and here's the bigger question in that, in that whole global chess game scenario, why are we playing this game if China is a communist country and they literally own at least 15% of our national debt? Why are we even dealing with them on this scale? Why? I don't get it. But then again, another question could be asked, and it's pretty simple. Why are we even in the China Sea, contesting an island or helping, in any way, shape, or form with whatever's happening in that area? Why? Here's the answer. Every smaller country that is being bullied by any medium-sized to bigger countries is in need of our help. And we had taken it upon ourselves years ago to be the world's police. Oh, this goes back a long way, okay? This goes back a long way. When we started trading with other countries, we pretty much, we pissed off a lot of countries. And so, who came to our rescue when we had the wars that we had in this country? Oh, by the way, the French were supporting the Confederate soldiers in the Civil War. Did you know that? You didn't know that? I may have overlooked something, but I think that's what happened. I believe that's how everything happened in that time. You know what I'm saying? So as we go into this global chess game, as we've been playing for many, many years, we have to understand that there's people that like to cheat. There's people that like to, or would, right out in front of our face, cheat and deceive us. It's kind of like parents. You probably have run into this at some point, and you've probably been in this situation where you've got your hand, or your child has their hand in the cookie jar, and you're like, "Don't take that cookie," and they're pulling that cookie out of the jar. Don't take that cookie, and they're doing it. Don't put that cookie down, and they're doing this as if you're going to turn your head and leave. You see what I'm saying? So this is what's happening in our world today. Somebody's got their hand in the cookie jar, and they're slowly pulling the cookie out as everybody else is looking at them going, "Don't take that cookie." And certainly, of course, they're going to try to deceive us to make us, turn our heads and stuff. And this is what's happening in the world. This is how it has been laid out for many, many years. But let's go here. let's go here. We know that this is happening. Everybody knows that this is happening. Everybody sees it. It's right there in front of your face. And a vast majority of the people are going, hey, look, this is what's happening. And a small percentage of people in the United States and around the world are going, are you kidding me? That's just a conspiracy theory. They're the ones looking at the cookie in the cookie jar with their hand on the cookie, slowly pulling it out. And everybody else is looking at them going, don't pull that cookie out of that jar. You don't do that. And other people are standing around going, let him have the cookie. No. So it's that whole situation. It's that whole situation that really has played into the narrative of everybody in the world. The narrative of we are going to deceive people to get what we want. And as the Harvard study showed, 60% of the people in America know for a fact that, pardon my language here for a second, folks, but the Harvard study has proven that 60% of the American people know that the mainstream propaganda media is a bunch of bullshit. They've already proven it. And it's been proven. You can just look at the stuff yourself and take a look at what is there. And you know this. You know this, folks. What is the problem with you folks? Are you the one that are going, well, nobody's taking a cookie out of the jar? As it's happening right out in front of you. Nobody's taking that. No. Nobody's eating that cookie that they took out of the jar. Really? Folks, it's one of those things. My whole point of that little thing that I talked about is this. The point is simple. We look around at the rest of the world and we see what's going on. We know this. We see this. It's out in front of us. It's there. We cannot ignore it. It's there, but people do. They ignore it. But my point is you should not ignore it. And you should grab the hand of that person, grab the hand of that kid with his hand in the cookie jar, make him drop the cookie, and put him in timeout. Told you not to take the cookie, now you're going to timeout. You're in trouble. That's what we should do. But are we doing it? No. Why not? Well, it's real simple. It's real simple. We don't do it because we've got other people in the room going, oh, give him the cookie. Negotiate with him. Have him do something and then give him the cookie as a reward. So we have other people advising us on how to do things when we ourselves, within ourselves, intuitively speaking, know exactly what to do, when to do it, why to do it, and how to do it, and we have to do it. Period. In other words, tell the people around you to shut the hell up. You're going to take care of this problem yourself, and it's going to be the right thing to do. Now, let me, hold on, time out. Let me explain. You know what to do. You know what to do. You examine this whole thing. You know what to do. There it is in front of you. There it is in front of you. Everything is happening in front of you. And it's affecting you in some way. Well, if it's affecting you in a negative way, which most of it is now, then you yourself have to make that decision to do something about it. And guess what? You don't have a choice. You have to do something about it. And the first thing you need to do something about what's going on is stop listening to the mainstream propaganda media and everybody else around you. Oh, it's just a conspiracy theory. No, shut up. It's not. Have you ever driven down a road and seen an accident on the side of the road? What's the first thing you do? You slow down to see if anybody's hurt. Why? Like you're going to pull over and go help them? No, you want to see how massive this wreck is. You want to see the destruction of the cars. You want to see the mangled metal and everything. What the hell is wrong with you people? Do you truly want to see the destruction of a constitutional republic called the United States of America? Do you really want to see this? Because, folks, I mentioned China a little while ago. They can walk right in and take whatever they want. They don't, because that would be a PR nightmare that would last for a long, long time. And we would cut them off. And then where would we get our products? Where would Walmart get their products to sell us? Indonesia? I've seen some stuff from Indonesia and Walmart. But China can walk right in and take whatever they freaking want. I mean, it is what it is. It's out in front of you. And your gut is telling you, do something about this. And your brain is going, really? You really want to do something about this? Really? Yeah, because you think with your preconceived ideas, oh, no, everything's just fine. We don't have to do it. What? No, nothing's fine. My point is I've rambled on for the last I don't know how many minutes, but it's coming down to the bottom of the hour. As I want to point out that we can do something. And we know that for that moment, it is going to be the right thing to do, period. Okay? Because it alleviates some of the pressure that's on us and on society and on our neighborhoods and all of this. We have to do something, folks. Something. We have to do something. Yes. It's what it is, folks. It's what it is. I'm going to go to break. This is American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go there and click on the sponsors page and drop $1 in the kitty to become a patron and help me keep the lights on around here. American Liberty Radio at USA.com is the email address. I'll be back right after this.
Hello, everybody. This is Brian Lang with Live Truth Radio and TV. You're listening to Wayne S. Pierce with American Liberty Radio.
You know what you want. You want the truth. You want the facts. Without all the BS. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Distorted Reality. I am your host, Nick Tucker, and I welcome you to the broadcast.
Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. DistortedReality.podbean.com and Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on American Liberty Radio Network.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
what no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome back. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. How you doing? Hey folks, anybody out there need a voiceover for advertising or anything? Hey, I'm available. Yes, hire me. Yes. You can get a hold of me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Hey, you know what? I check out videos on YouTube, and for the last several months, I've been checking out like abandoned places videos with Dan Bell. I mean, that kind of thing. Explore with Us, which is somebody else. But I'm a big fan of three people: Jacob the Carpetbagger, Exploring with Josh and his buddies as well, but also Adam the Woo. So go check out the Daily Woo. That's the Daily WOO. Check out what he does. He's traveling the countryside, telling you what's happening, showing you some really cool places, and so check him out. Check out Jacob the Carpetbagger as well. And check out, as I mentioned his name just a second ago, Dan Bell, and also Exploring with Josh. Go check them out as well. A lot going on, so let's get back to the show. So anywho, let's go to U.S. News on Infowars.com, shall we? If my browser decides it wants to work. Hello there. Yeah, it's a little slow. That's the thing, folks. Is I've got to upgrade around the studio, and I've got Wi-Fi in the studio. And let me tell you something. Not very good. I got to reset everything. Yeah, it says there's no internet connection. Yes, there is. I just did a few things a second ago. So I don't know. I'm looking down at my little internet connection icon, the internet access, and it shows, pretty good Wi-Fi, and then it just dropped right now. I was just watching it. So, anyway. Anywho, let's go to U.S. News on Facebook. Click the news section there. It's a pull-down menu, or, just highlight it, and there it is. You can just put the cursor on news on Infowars.com and just pick what you want. No more fake conservatives. Well, let's take a look at that one, shall we? Hey, Andy. How you doing? Anyway, I know. Bad Barney Fife. I don't know. Yeah. Michael Snyder, end of the AmericanDream.com, 25th of May, 2017. No more fake conservatives. Unfortunately, the truth is that, quote-unquote, Republican and, quote-unquote, conservative are not synonymous. Do you want to know why President Trump can't seem to get much done in Congress? It is because many of the Republicans in Congress are actually fake conservatives. That's called Rhino, Republican in name only. For decades, conservative voters have allowed these rhinos, hey, there you go, to use labels such as Republican, conservative, or pro-life to get votes. But then, once they get into office, They govern like Democrats, and we never seem to hold them accountable. So, even though we have given the Republicans control of the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, the government continues to function pretty much as it did when the Democrats were running things. So I'm going to put that on American Liberty Radio Podcast for you to check out. This is by Michael Snyder over at endoftheamericandream.com. It's on Infowars.com, so I'm going to put that one up there. I need to ask. I just need to put this out here because the question is not hard to answer. So I'm just going to ask it. In your view, and I need some feedback from you, so send me some messages either on the Spreaker side of things in the comment section or go to American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook and pop your answer into here. So the question's not that difficult. So from your point of view, what makes you think everything is just fine? Okay, from your point of view, what makes you think that everything's just fine? I want to know. Go to American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook or put the comment in the comment section there on the Spreaker side of things. So there you go. I'd like to hear from you. Daniel Lang, SHTFplan.com. You know what SHTF means, don't you? SHTFplan.com, Daniel Lang, 25th of May, 2017. Thank you, Daniel. The final nail in the mainstream TV news coffin, Fox News ratings plummet to a 17-year low. The only news channel, at least in the U.S., that still commands solid ratings is Fox News. The mainstream media has been fighting a losing battle against independent news outlets, a.k.a. fake news, ever since the internet took hold in our society. Countless newspapers have filed for bankruptcy, and news channels have faced dwindling ratings. The only news channel, at least in the U.S., that still commands solid ratings is Fox News. Unfortunately for Fox, the average age of their viewers is 68, which isn't exactly a profitable age group for advertisers. And, more importantly, that statistic suggests that the company's viewership is literally dying out. Still, Fox has been wiping the floor with every other news channel for years. Just a few months ago, their ratings were better than CNN and MSNBC combined. Fox is, without a doubt, the last bastion of successful mainstream news. That's not the case anymore. For the first time in 17 years, Fox ratings among key demographic fell behind both CNN and MSNBC. If the juggernaut like Fox News is struggling, then you know the mainstream media is near death. It may not look like it since CNN and MSNBC are making up for it with stronger ratings. However, those ratings are only being fueled by people who hate Trump. That's not a very good business model because he's not going to be around forever. And in any case, the ratings for these channels are pretty intermittent. Liberals are tuning in when they think Trump is going to be impeached and then dropping out when nothing comes of his controversies. So what little success these channels have now doesn't have any staying power. The bottom line is the only mainstream news channel that has consistently successfully the only mainstream news channel that was consistently successful has been knocked down, and it probably won't be the last time this happens. Fox is now reaching the same popularity levels as CNN and MSNBC, which have been a ratings joke for years. That's CNN and MSNBC. These channels are now in the battle for survival as they compete for dwindling ratings that are routinely dwarfed by internet cat videos. Steve Cash 83. The establishment mouthpieces are officially on death's door, and it's only a matter of time before they become completely irrelevant. That's going on American Liberty Radio Podcast. I want to say this. Yes, there are so many things about the mainstream propaganda media. There we go. Mainstream propaganda media. There are so many things that we have to look at and examine because we need to know why these places put out what they put out and more importantly, why they are failing. We don't want anybody to fail as far as business is concerned, but these organizations and these news outlets are failing. Why? Is it because these liberal, far-left, liberal, Marxist, communist news media outlets hate Trump so much they want to do everything they can to bash him? When, in fact, when people watch those stations and watch those, news reports, they soon turn them off because it's nothing but negative bullcrap. And they know this and they see this. And this is why the rise in alternative media and independent media is happening. And so this is how this works. You can only handle so much BS from the mainstream propaganda media. That's why American Liberty Radio exists, folks. Sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS. That's exactly what we do around here. Now, I also want to say that CNN is a piece of crap network now. When Ted Turner owned it, it was pretty darn good when it came out many, many years ago. But now, it's just a piece of crap. David Knight, Infowars.com, lynching Sheriff Clark, CNN grammar Nazi goes after his thesis. The media attacked Sheriff Clark in a last-ditch effort to block his appointment to Homeland Security. CNN is doing everything they can to attack the character of Sheriff Clark to block his appointment to Homeland Security, even resorting to attacking his use of quotation marks in his master's thesis. And many in the mainstream press, jealously guarding their monopoly access to press conferences, are freaking out as InfoWars establishes a Washington bureau. So congratulations to Alex Jones and Infowars.com for getting that. And everybody should support Sheriff Clark. Because now we have people in there. Now here's the thing, folks. Here, let me just take a few minutes here and discuss this. Everybody has a different perspective. I am fine with that. Okay, everybody has a different perspective. Everybody knows. Everybody sees things from their own perspective, and that's fine. I'm good with that. I'm okay. That's fine. It's fine. I'm good. I'm good with it. Okay, I'm fine with that. But here's the thing, folks, and I'm going to say this because it's true and it does happen, and that is when you sit down with someone, and you've probably done this in your life as well, but you sit down with someone and they start, telling you certain things about certain things going on around, them and around their family and around their, friends and around town. You start hearing what they're saying and you don't know whether or not it's true, right? So you got to go out and look at this stuff. You got to, okay, wait a minute. What did you say about that? Okay. And when your friend leaves, guess what? You go and check it out. Because you just got a feeling within yourself that, hey, something's not quite right here, right? But then when your friend is right on and everything's, you know that they're not lying, you're fine with that, right? So my point is I'm okay with people having a differing opinion than mine. I'm okay with people having a different perspective. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. Other people say that I'm not because, I get defensive when people have a differing opinion than mine. No, I don't. I shove the truth in their face and expose them and the lies that they tell me. And they get pissed off. And they don't like that. So they get defensive with my with my expose of their lies. They hate that. They don't like that. They hate that. It's one of those things where you're just like, well, you're lying to me. Well, no, I'm not. Well, can you prove it to me? Can you prove to me what you're saying? No, but yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. And it is one of those things where, what do you do? Seriously, what do you do when somebody's lying to your face? You expose them for what they are, and you expose the truth to them to show them that they're lying. Okay? This is what the mainstream propaganda media is doing. They're lying to your face. They're right there in your face and they're lying to you, and you're sitting there, eating it up. Oh, that must be true because it was on CNN. Oh, that must be true because it was on MSNBC. When I can just expose them for what they are. Mainstream propaganda media. And the people that believe MSNBC and CNN and all those places are looking at me like, oh, you just don't like the truth. Really? Seriously? Well, and I've had people tell me this over the years. Well, how do you know that what you're reading is the truth? Because I investigate and research it. I just don't believe it, as I see it. If something jumps out at me that doesn't seem right, I'm going to go investigate it and research it. It's that simple, but I don't know. And then when I tell people that, they walk away going, and then they get all pissed off and don't want to talk to me anymore. So, folks, it's the 25th of May, 2017. Go check out a friend of mine, man. He's Mr. Tom Slick over at Radio Rock, 92.6 The Blitz. If you are an independent author, independent filmmaker, independent musician, please check out Mr. Tom Slick over at Radio Rock, 92.6 The Blitz and The Morning Brew. He hosts that every morning. Check that out. Radio Rock, 92.6 The Blitz, The Morning Brew with your host, Tom Slick. Go check it out at 926theblitz.rocks. That's ROCKS. 926theblitz.rocks. Check out The Morning Brew with Mr. Tom Slick. Yes. So, check him out. And check out Alex Exum, the Exum Experience on Spreaker.com. It's fantastic show. Words cannot describe how really good that show is. Alex Exum. Let me see if I can find it. The Exum Experience, because, if I can spell experience, I'd be, you know what? Sometimes my computer just needs a kick in the ass. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Folks, go to, as soon as my web page, as soon as my browser decides it wants to work, go check out Mr. Alex Exum at Alex Exum, that is EXUM, AlexExum.com. Go check him out. Go check out the Exum Experience. He's on iHeartRadio, Spreaker.com. He's all over the place. Go check that out. Alex, ALEX, Exum, EXUM.com. AlexExum.com. Check him out. Awesome dude. Awesome show. No words can describe how great that show is. Anywho, let me move on out of here. And while my page comes up, I'll tell you about Brian Lang over at Live Truth Radio and Television at livetruthradio.com. Go check him out. He's got a lot of guests on there sometimes. Yeah. So, anywho's and what's it's. Let me go over here. What did I just say? Who's a what's it's? Okay, yeah. More coffee, man. David Knight, Infowars.com, 25th of May, 2017. Pope gives Trump eco tract written by, wait for it, Radical zero population globalists. A breakdown of the people and agenda behind the propaganda. As part of President Trump's visit to the Vatican, Pope Francis gave the president his encyclical on climate change. Yeah. 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 That's on American Liberty Radio podcast for you to check out. Clinton operative David Brock gets put in his place. Yeah, let's check that out. The Alex Jones Show, 25th of May, 2017. Clinton operative David Brock gets put in his place. Globalist puppet Brock accused of falsifying expenditures. It is called the Bauman Foundation, and on the board of directors sits David Brock, a self-loving, narcissistic egomaniac who has made a career of attacking people on both sides of the aisles, but since 1997 has aligned himself with the Clintons, Soros, and the ravenous illiberal left. He is the founder of Media Matters for America, Correct the Record, and Share Blue. Brock is known for his use of quote-unquote censorship and quote-unquote online harassment. So that's going up on American Liberty Radio podcast. Owen Schroyer, in the video that you will see, discusses that. I got to say it, folks. I have to put it out here right now. Have to. As I said yesterday in my show, I am done with the liberal left. I am done with anyone who says they're liberal. I am done with anybody who's a Democrat, a Republican. I'm done. The Democratic Socialists and the Republican Fascists have screwed this country over many more times than we can count, and I'm done. I've been done with party politics for over 25 years, at least, since Clinton. And I can tell you this much. I can tell you that, and it's really simple, because I want to make this perfectly clear, okay? And that is, party politics isn't there to bring people together. Party politics is there to divide the country. Period. End of sentence. They're all one party anyway, divided up with different ideologies and place themselves in these cubicles of Democrat and Republican. And that's basically what it is. It's not there to bring the country together. It's there to divide the country. That's why I've, since, Clinton, his second term, I got done with party politics. I'm done with all that bull crap. I'm done with having parties in the United States of America. The political parties, not, I'll go to a good, cocktail party or something, and I won't drink because I don't. But, I'll just stand around watching everybody else look like fools. But, but I'm done with political parties. Political parties are the scourge of American politics. They're the scourge of America, period. Let's specify. They're the scourge of the United States of America. And as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of people may disagree with this, but as far as I'm concerned, we don't need, political parties in the United States of America. We don't need it. We don't need parties, political parties in the United States of America. It's just that way. Now, I'm sure that each state in our union of the United States of America, small u, can manage on their own. Because, folks, all 50 states, 51 if you consider Puerto Rico, is a country unto itself, and we can manage to do what we need to do to take care of the people that are in each of those states. We've seen it before, prior to 1913, prior to 1871 and the Act of 1871, but we've seen it and it works. But here's the thing: we had a we had people many years ago say, well, we need to, cross state lines to be able to trade with other countries, which means each state of the United States. We need to, trade with, this territory and that region and we need to have some sort of agreement with that other state. Well, of course, come around 1891, December 15th, 1891, ratified in Congress, the Constitution of the United States of America came about, and we have the ability to go to each state and to trade and sell and whatever we need to do with ease now. Before it was totally different, but now we can do this. The United States of America is the, I'm going to say was, because at this point, we don't know it right now. But the United States of America was the greatest commercial country in the world. In other words, we developed, created, built, manufactured, sold product around the world, and it was fantastic. We were great. We were great at it. It was great. Seriously, it was wonderful. I know I sound like Trump. Sorry. Then this little weird German guy. I don't say weird. I shouldn't say weird. Henry Kissinger came along, and he was Secretary of State under Richard Milhouse Nixon. President Nixon in the early 70s. And he went to China and opened up trade with China. Now, we were a great, great country because we had all this stuff and we're trading around the world and all this, that, and the other thing, right? We're fantastic, right? And we were getting stuff from Japan, and that kind of thing. But all of a sudden, within about a 10-year period of time, up until Reagan was president, everything began to solidify. Everything began to grow from that point on. Through Ford and through Carter and then into Reagan, things just exploded after that. It wasn't Reagan's doing that the economy got a hell of a lot better. It was everything before that. Okay, so we have this country now that depends on China for all of our products. You go look at a shirt at Walmart or at any like Target or places like that. You go look at, power tools, or you go look at car products at your local auto parts store. You go anywhere and you look on the back, and usually down in little tiny letters on the back of the package or wherever, it will say made in China. Or I saw this the other day, made in Mexico. Why? Why couldn't we take that ability that we had years ago and manufacture and produce what we need for ourselves? Why? Why can't we do that? I'll tell you why. Because too many people want more money hourly or a salary that matches every single expense that we have plus, so that we can have money in our pocket. When you talk to the average person out there who's working, who's struggling, you know how much money they say they want to make? On average, this is not specific, but on average, here's how much people want to make. $20 to $25 an hour. I don't care if you're working at McDonald's or some auto parts store down the street. They want to make $20 to $25 an hour. That's average, depending upon the region. What do we do at that point? No business in America can sustain that type of labor costs. There's no way. We'd be dead in the water within 6 months. But see, everybody's yelling, I want more money. I want more money. And I'll talk about that on my next podcast. We're going to be gone this weekend, Friday and Saturday, so I won't have a podcast. You can check out the archives. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com, American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio Network, sharing the truth one fact at a time on Spreaker.com without all the BS.